Masquerade. Before we begin, I need to reiterate a couple of rules. The old familiar, but some of you may not be familiar. No flash photography to be used in this room. There will be ample opportunity for flash photography down in the atrium after the masquerade. The costumers are going to be moving down there. There is an official photographer area, and there will be plenty of lighting for you to do available light, both here, as you can see, plenty of available light, and down there will be, I believe it's daylight setups, but check with the official photographer, Rick, down in the photography area. I've been asked to announce that Concord High School, Concord, New Hampshire, is setting up a Krista McAuliffe Memorial Scholarship. Details on that, if you're interested, you can see Jan Howard Finder, the Wombat, at the art auction, or before the art auction, after the art auction, or sometime in between. The art auction follows the Clams concert and is in Town Hall. Town Hall is back in this direction. You'll find signs to it. It's a room, if you were here last year, you're not familiar with. It's a real neat place, but you're going to have to follow your nose to get there. It's a little bit sort of hidden back behind there. It's arranged like a lecture room with permanent seating. This masquerade will be run according to the division system. That means people who are novices, who have rarely, if ever, appeared on a stage, are not in direct competition with people who are greatly experienced. For this masquerade, the divisions are novice, meaning someone who has never won a prize, journeyman, and craftsman. Craftsmen are people who have won 3 or more prizes at previous conventions, or who elect to jump right in with both feet and volunteer to go on as craftsmen. It's sort of the equivalent of the Worldcon Master Division, but it's just a little different. Journeyman is everyone in between. Okay. Dear judges for this evening, noted costumers John and Dorsey Flynn, and our art guest of honor, Wayne Barlow, and if some kind gopher would get me a setup of water, I'd be grateful to you forever. And let's go. Oh, I must announce before we begin, we have 46 entries tonight, which makes us larger than Balticon, larger than PhilCon, larger than NASFIC, and larger than AussieCon.
This isn't it.
Costume number 0, the littlest barbarian. That's Animal X's little boy. Costume number 1. Eileen Parkman as the White Rabbit. you have it, Eileen Parkman. Ladies and gentlemen, costume number 2, the most horrible, most evil, most heinous, and despicable villain of the universe. Hail to thee, Ming the Merciless.
I shall yet crush your miserable little planet!
James Covelson as Ming the Merciless, version 1937. Well, that's good. They say also that the gift was once good for other things, healing and calming and taming. Here now is Korlath, who united Daimar and brought Haramad's soul, bearer of the blue sword, Gonturan, to his people. Mike Brennan, Korlath, King of Daimar, from the Blue Sword by Robin McKinley.
My warriors, we have but one day left here in battle. Then we go home to our families and friends. Fight well, for this will be the last day of Lastcon.
Costume number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, your mascot, Fido, invites you to play around with him. Ian Bishaw as Fido, the Lastcon mascot. Costume number 5. Carol Salemi and Bill Rudow as in Diana's Bridal Scales from the TV series. Moments before the ceremony, Diana vows to put an end to this marriage designed to terminate her military career. She now seeks the aid of one of her loyal agents to help her find a way, any way, out. Carol Salemi and Bill Rudow, Diana's Bridal Scales. I have just handed the judges documentation for the next costume. You'll have an opportunity to see it afterwards. It is unreal. Costume number 6 in the Journeyman Division. From the Book of Calgaran, original book by Paul Phillipson, Paul as Greylock, Grafinian, King of Dreamland, Calgaran, Greylock, Greyfin, King of Dreamworld Calgaran. Costume number 7. In the novice division, David Bishaw as the Saturday AM cartoon Dungeons & Dragons, brought into the realm of Dungeons & Dragons unwillingly. His puzzle is how to find a way to get out. David Bishaw as D&D Barbarian Bobby. Contestant number 8, costume number 8, Elric as Honorio harp player from 18th century Terran history. Before his naval captaincy and before his encounter with Mr. Green, the young Honorio harp player cut a dashing figure in British society, but only if someone else chose his color scheme. From a short story by Harry Harrison. The entry is in the Craftsman division. I beg your pardon, I should have read that. Entry number 9 in the Journeyman division. And the first seal opened, and I heard a voice saying, "Come and see." And I looked, and I beheld a man wearing a white suit. He ran forth and was given a bow and a crown, and jogged forth to conquer. And the second seal opened, and I beheld a jogger in red sweats. He was given power to take peace from the earth, that men might slay each other. And he was given a great sword. And the third seal opened, and I beheld a jogger in a black suit, bearing a balance in his hand. And I heard a voice say, "A penny for a measure of wheat, and a penny for your thoughts." And the fourth seal opened, and I beheld a jogger in pale sweats, and his name was Death, and hell followed after, in Nikes. The four joggers of the apocalypse. In the Journeyman division, Rathmeyer, Alec Blackburn, David Miller, and Wayne Nebo. Entry number 10 in the novice division, Deborah Craig as Cleitus, High Priestess of Cats.
Which one of you stole my tail? Was it you? I can't find it. I have no power without it. I want my tail back.
Deborah Craig as Cleitus, High Priestess of Cats. Entry number 11 in the Craftsman division, Craig Deanhart and Catherine G. Condon, Damien's full court dress from the Fashion Folio at Costume Con number 4. Jason Condon, Damien's full court dress. And the designer was Greg Deanhart and Kathy Condon. Entry number 12 in the novice division. I'm Ike the Elf from the land beyond the White Mountains, also known as Dragon Slayer. I have 3 to my credit so far, and I'm on my way to vanquish another. Joshua Murillo as Ike the Dragon Slayer. Entry number 13. Nancy Lee Rogers, Dreamweaver. Costume inspired by Gray Wright in his song, Dreamweaver. Nancy Lee Rogers, Dreamweaver. And that was a Journeyman Division costume. Entry number 14 in the Novice Division. Harold Feld as Smurfinator. Originally created by men, they grew tired of their position as mere playthings. They came to regard themselves as superior beings, the true rulers of the planet. Working secretly, they labored to create a champion, a giant who would cut down like a blue scythe through the field of sickle wheat, the human vermin, and woe to humanity, for they succeeded. Even now he walks among us, waiting for his chance to strike. Let humanity tremble at the coming of the Smurfinator. Harold Feld as Smurfinator.
Smurf, you humans. I'll be back.
Bruce Adams, a water seller in the marketplace. Water seller. Can I buy some water from you? Bruce Adams as a water seller in the marketplace. Number 16 is a scratch, I regret to tell you. Costume number 17, Denise Girardot, La Dama de la Rose. As you may have noticed, La Dama has a predilection for the color pink. This particular costume contains 47 different shades. But a word of caution, this rose has thorns. In the Craftsman Division, Denise Girardot, La Dame La Rosa. Costume number 18 in the Novice Division. John Close as Petrophon, Satyrzar of Graciandar. In the dream world of Kelgaran, there is a province known as Graciandar. The chief inhabitants of this vast land are satyrs. The ruler of this land is Petrophon, a satyr of great knowledge and unusual powers. At birth, Petrophon's life was saved by a Phaedrus, and thus was given many of the powers of the Elvards, including the ability to use a senor stick. With his tool of great power, he cares for and protects all who live in the land he rules as Satyrzar. John Close, Petrophon, Satyrzar, and Graciandar. Costume number 19 in the Novice Division, Kimberly Brainerd as Diamond Dust. From her own imagination, designed and worn by Kimberly Brainerd Diamond Dust. Costume number 20. Kathleen M. Cummings as the Ronnie Exiled Time Lord.
Nothing is beyond my reach. My genetic research may be famous throughout the galaxies, but the President and the Council knows rules. They decree that my experiments were dangerous and immoral, and looking for tampering with the forbidden. Those cretins. Nothing is forbidden in science. I suppose it was when my experiment rat of the President's cat. That's why they exalt me. Banished for a pet cat. Imbeciles. Don't they know what they've done? They freed me. There will always be suitable planets on which to continue my experiments. Just let them try to interfere with me. They, their foolish pawn, the doctor. Then they shall feel the wrath of the Ronnie. Me. They exiled me. The Ronnie. Time Lord.
Kathleen M. Cummings, the Ronnie Time Lord. Costume number 21. Wendy Ann Conant and Wendy Graff, Morgana the Sorceress, and her familiar, the Dragon of the Spring Air. In the Journeyman Division, Morgana and the Dragon of the Spring Air. Costume number 20. Christy Mario as Alisa the Fairy. Hi, I'm Alisa from the land of Fairy. Come to see what summer is in the real world. Christy Mario as Alisa the Fairy. Costume number 23 in the Craftsman Division. Angelique Trouvert and Fred King in The Pact. Angelique Trouvert and Fred King in The Pact. Interruption for an announcement. Bruce Adams, your school ring is in operations. If you look down at your hand and it's not there, it's wandered into the operations and you can retrieve it anytime you want. Costume number 24 in the Novice Division. From the universe of Doctor Who, Thea with Skull, episode titled The Image of the Fendal. Barbara Mater as Thea.
I am Thea of the Fendelman Institute. This skull contains the image of the Fendal. Soon it will awaken and unless the Time Lord intervenes, Earth's doom is assured.
Barbara Mater as Thea. And as we all know, the good doctor did in fact intervene, and the Earth was saved.
Well, of course.
Costume number 25 in the novice division. Rob Naper as Captain Casual. Concept taken from an unusual Australian science fiction magazine. Rob Naper as Captain Casual. Costume number 26. From The Seven Sins, Animal X as Vanity.
I feel pretty, so pretty. The city should give me its key. Our committee should be organized and honoring. I feel charming. See the pretty girl in that mirror there. Who could that attractive girl be? Such a pretty face, such a pretty dress, such a pretty smile, such a pretty me. Stunning and entrancing. Feel like running and dancing for joy. For I'm loved by a pretty, wonderful me.
Animal X as Vanity. Costume number 26 in the Craftsman, costume number 27, Kathy Sobansky as an English lady, circa 1750, or what to do with a 20th century bridesmaid's gown. This lady from the court of Elizabeth wears a crimson taffeta gown in the French style with puffed sleeves of black velvet. To achieve the proper clams on the beach look, she wears a steel-boned corset underneath. Her accessories include a gold net partlet, starched ruff, pillbox hat, and a pomander filled with lavender. Kathy Sobansky, an English lady. And just in case you're curious, at this moment, Lastcon 4 has 275 pre-registered members, 194 at the door registrants, total of 469 L4 members. Of these, 444 are presently in attendance at the convention. Not too shabby. Costume number 28 in the novice division, B.J. Dixon, heroine of the Arabian Nights and storyteller supreme, Scheherazade of 1,000 Nights. B.J. Dixon, Scheherazade. Costume number 29 in the Craftsman division, Andrew Bergstrom as the Wizard of Speed and Time.
I'm the Wizard of Speed and Time.
Bergstrom, the Wizard of Speed and Time. Costume number 30 in the Novice Division. Elizabeth Saratelli as Lady Elera Ekiran of the House Dragon. From Stephen Brooks' book, Jereg. Elizabeth Saratelli as Lady Elera Ekiran, House Dragon. Costume number 31, Roberta Rogau, Queen in Cups. Roberta Rogau, Queen in Cups. Costume number 32, Diane Soter as Queen Esmeraldas. Wanted by Earth authorities, Queen Esmeraldas, with a low rating of X. She is very dangerous and should be handled with care. Diane Soter, Queen Esmeraldas. Costume number 33 in the Novice Division. Gail Swanson and Eric Swanson as Darda Perpetua and Raymond Darius. Darda is High Priestess of Ishtar, Goddess of Love and War. Raymond is a magic user who is Darda's brother. Gail and Eric Swanson, Darda Perpetua and Raymond Darius. Costume number 34 in the Journeyman Division. Lieutenant Savick has been dismissed from Starfleet service for dereliction of duty and conduct unbecoming an officer. She must either return home to Vulcan in disgrace 8 months after her ordeal on Genesis. Suzanne Walker as Lieutenant Savick in disgrace. Spock is rolling over in his grave. Costume number 35 in the Journeyman Division. Patricia Young as Elestra, Moon Empress of Tedney. Barricade-3 is a planet with an axial tilt so severe that its only inhabited continent lies for 7 years in the sun and another 7 years lit only by pale moonlight. On the first full day of darkness, the new empress is chosen by the elders of the Empire of Tedney. After her coronation, Elestra shows herself to her people. Patricia Young, Elestra, Moon Empress of Tedney. Costume number 36 in the Journeyman Division. Sharon and Guy Frechette, Solitaire, Queen of the Desert Planet Caladar, and her warlord Shandar. They have just returned from a quest to regain the Staff of Power. Since Caladar has limited resources, Solitaire and Shandar's costumes are constructed from bones and leather, with some fur and feathers. Guy and Sharon Frechette, Solitaire and Shandar. Costume number 37 in the Journeyman Division, Nancy Labitte as Princess Helen Hunyadi in the Court of Venice, from Fred Saberhagen's books. From the Court of the Medicis in Venice comes Princess Helen Hunyadi, portrayed in Fred Saberhagen's novel Thorn. Nancy Labitte as Princess Helen. Costume number 38, not divisioned. Craig Biscoe, Charles Weeks, Ed Iger, and David. Galactica, Lords of Kogol. From Battlestar Galactica, the Lords of Kogol uniforms. Craig Biscoe, Charles Weeks, Ed Iger, and David. Costume number 39 in the Journeyman Division, Eleanor Stasheff. From the land of Oz comes Glinda the Good, casting happiness where she goes. But quick, Glinda, better hurry before the witching hour turns you back into a tired little girl. Eleanor Stasheff as Glinda the Good. Under the full moon of a midsummer's night dream comes Hermia, searching for her errant lover, but closely follows the fairy Cobweb and spins her web of enchantment on this magic night. Genevieve and Isabel Stasheff, Cobweb and Hermia, from Midsummer Night's Dream. From his father's forthcoming book comes Prince Alain, seeking the help of the Goboglass children and their father. Will he find them in time? Will they quell the rebels? Tune in August and find out. Edward Stasheff as Prince Alain. From The Warlock is Missing, coming in August from Chris Stasheff. Strange numbering, folks, but costume number 41A. Joanna Breyer. Autumn has come to Lothlorien. In these troubled times, elves cloak themselves in fall colors to journey to the borders of the realm. Joanna Breyer, Woodland Elf, from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. costume number 41B in the Journeyman Division, David Blanchard. He may not be a Time Lord, and he may not pilot a TARDIS, but he does know how to travel through time in style. Here's that DeLorean driving scientist, Dr. Emmett Brown.
I hope you don't mind if I just borrowed some fuel from your surplus commodity bins. I'd love to stay and talk, but I can't. There's some damn kid out there about to tow my DeLorean. Marty, get him away from that!
David Blanchard, Dr. Emmett Brown. And now for costume number 16. On a dark, misty night, on the lone back streets of a city, a lonely man becomes the victim of an evil that has prowled the earth for over a millennium. Sbaleen, Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. L.N. Binbone and an assistant, Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, Novice Division. And now we have 2 costumes entered out of competition for your edification and enjoyment. The Bells of Maryland. Each year there is a con just for costumers, called appropriately Costume Con. These costumes won Best in Show in the Historic Division at CC4 this May in Los Angeles. Created by Catherine Condon, modeled by Marty and Bobby Gear. The Bells of Maryland, Marty and Bobby Gear. Also entered out of competition, Barb Schofield and Martin Miller in costumes originally designed and made for the fashion show at Costume Con 4 as Darkoven winter costumes. And that's it, folks. Now, a couple of things. The judges are going to be retiring at this point to consider their decisions. The clam chowder concert will begin here in about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how long it takes them to set up. The judges will be back sometime during the clams concert, and we will interrupt briefly to announce Masquerade winners. Those of you who wish to take photographs of the contestants should now grab the particular contestant you want and go down in the atrium. Contestants meander down in that direction. Official photography is there if you wish it. It's totally voluntary. And if you may I have your attention one brief moment, please. Your Masquerade director, Peggy Kennedy.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank my assistants, the catchers who I listed at the last minute and whose names I don't know. Will you please come up on stage and take a bow? You did beautifully.
Catchers up on stage, please. Catchers.
Up on stage. Come on, you're being
And my
introduced.
den moms, who organized things backstage so well that after the first 10 minutes I stopped worrying and watched the show. Eileen Eldred, Diane Cabalson, Valerie Bédard, Kelly Harkness, and Tony Lay.